Good evening, everyone, and welcome. It's time for a little bit of more Delta Force. Because last time, as I was here, there was a new season, I showed a new map, one of the two new maps, but they were like, oh, hey, it's either in the rotation or, you can't access the other one because for some reason they didn't make a playlist with both new maps. Anyway. Oh, this was off. Oh, that explains so much. Hello, Etherlich. Yeah, some stuff happens. Basically, there's now a Lunar New Year festival with wonderful translations again. This game is full of... They really need to have... I don't know who's translating the game, but basically they are now like, oh, you get card packs from playing the game, and you can open them to get... This is, by the way, you can't use money for that. They just use it as an aesthetic. What I do love is you don't open card packs, you decompress them. Don't you love that? Don't you just love it if you go, you buy a nice, booster pack of Magic the Gathering, like 3, and you want to, you want to decompress them to draft. Oh. I don't know well this one will be. But yeah, there's stuff to do, the typical play stuff. We have some gacha tokens, I guess, to open. By the way, as I said before, there's a lot of stuff in this game that's just, you can't pay money for it, so... If you hear me say gacha token, it's actually a system where you don't pay money, so... It's not the worst, ironically. We have everything. Oh, perfect. That sounds perfect. But yeah, we have some new stuff. First of all, new engineer. Weirdest shit. I thought like his thing is just the shield. I'm trying to convince me that taxation is theft and unnecessary. Yeah, I'm more, I'm more of the opposite. Like, shit needs to be paid for in some capacity. That's just a matter of fact. But yeah, weirdly enough, that's just the weirdest thing when people are like, oh, but we didn't need taxes. You always had taxes. You always had some form of taxes. Like, fucking medieval society. No, wait, stop. Ancient civilization ran on taxes. The part was just, the thing is just how these looked like were different. Like, when someone comes at me and is like, this is theft or so, and I'm like, literally taxes are the reason why the Egyptians were able to build an empire. The difference was, they taxed grain, so it was like, hey, you give part of the stuff in terms of, grain, onions, etc. We store this in warehouses, and then, when the fields were tilled and stuff, and they had other things to do, like road maintenance, building projects, etc., they paid people with grain. So, so that people, have access to food distributed when, there wasn't a food growing time, because Egypt was kind of relying on the whole flooding of the Nile River and not flooding of the Nile River. It was how the whole system was. Yeah. Sorry, every fucking society ran on taxes in some form. It's like, oh, you want to have some form of more developed societal structure, but you don't want to contribute to it. Oh, you don't want to. You just want to have all that just happen for free, right? Ah, shucks. Would be nice if that happened, and I guess we have to move to Fairyland for that. Wow, already really... This was a shitty bang stream. We are opening directly with God. Shit has to be paid for in some capacity. But yeah, basically, ironically, if you think, oh, is this his design? No, this is actually not his design. The helmet is his ability. No shit, he puts on the helmet. You can see it later in game. But yeah. Fallacies are, they're just very lovely. But yeah, some new stuff by the way. I think the Scar and the AUG are now on the Recon. So, if you like using the Scar and AUG, perfect. You can make really cursed weapons and I love it. Anyway, that's new. Also just unlocked is the SR9. We can use that later. Why not? We have... Oh, nice. One more round and we're slowly moving towards the LMG because there's a new LMG. So I know the biggest problem this game has is the fucking UI. It's just literally go to the armory. Like, go to this armory tab and look what you have to do because, like, maybe put one of those on. It's like you can unlock them for a few guns and it's like, oh, you get like a boost on handling a little, or a different type of magazine. It's very simple, and you should probably just this is the thing. You are very confused by stuff in this game. Also, one thing that really fucks me up is the fact that especially the Chinese origin weapons, the weapons of Chinese origin, the attachments are called new type. So, yeah, my Gundam brain is like, using psionics. But, yeah. Oh, okay. By the way, the newest SMG, by the way, was this. We can use it later. I already cursed it to the max, as you can see, because I like cursing my guns to the max. And if you're wondering, wait, did you just turn an SMG into a semi-sight-holded LMG? Yes. Yes, I did. That's the best part about this game, that the cursed meta is real. So yeah. Keep going with that, I guess. Oh, wow. I totally forgot they had that. This is so useless. The healing syringe is, like, so useless if it's not a permanent thing on the class. Which is why, it makes sense that they put it on the Assault class in 2042. I mean, it basically copied Bad Company 1, but still. China has more freedom of speech than the USA. That is a very un-American thing to say by some people. Like, I mean, here's the thing. We can talk about how different forms of, for example, like, let's just be real here. For example, in the USA, there is not really a lot of independent media anymore. For example, so considering the fact that a lot of it's just different forms to degree, but also like no, like I'm sorry if there's a country where you like where they literally have to have 165 nicknames for their president on a ban list on social media websites. It's again, some parts are different, but still. Oh boy. Again, I'm not gonna say, some nations scored that well on things, because let's just be real here. Yeah, I mean, again, it's not that, this is a zero-sum thing in some parts, because it's like, for example, in the UK, you can just threaten people all the time with libel laws. Okay. the Turf Queen did that a lot of times. You're like she really doesn't like to do that, but which is like, oh hey, rich people can just silence you with money, which is also not perfect, but again, there is not a whole apparatus, so Winnie the Pooh doesn't get this butthurt. Yeah. I mean, money shouldn't be power, especially in a legal sense, because again, it is a bit fucked up that rich people can just sue you on shitty charges and they basically get through with it because you don't have the money to fight back. Maybe you could do something about people having more money for that, but... Wait, I can just use it? Oh god, this is stupid. Yeah. No, that's just... Yep. Wasn't that even in fucking Final Fantasy Tactics? If the penalty for crime is a fine, then that law only exists for the lower class. I think it was in one of the Final Fantasy spin-off games. Old Square was definitely built. It is true, yeah. I mean, there's just sometimes stuff that like, oh shit, this came from popular media, but also it's like, yeah, maybe that media was popular for a reason. But also Old Square was built differently, like, Agonia has started playing Tactics over recently, and that game also just doesn't waste its fucking time going over, horrible atrocities you can commit. Or, people want you to commit. It's like, oh hey, this is fucked up. But hey, I am currently playing a Chinese game, so definitely big cheese supporter here. I love the CCP. Don't sue me, Winnie the Pooh. The Belt and Roads is great project. I mean, hey, if we need to talk about that take turns, let's say at face value, tankies, yeah, that's always the fun part. Like, no, but then they're like, but our our government's covered things up and shit, and you just sit there, be like, maybe there is no good and evil in this world, and this Christian worldview is flawed. Anyway, the funniest shit that happened out of China recently, there was just, just wiping $200 billion from the stock market yesterday with one program is... I mean, again, I should say this is not directly the... attributing to China, more to, open source communities being just open source communities. but like, yeah, it is still very, very, very funny. Oh. Oh well. What? Let's try the new one. What should we use it with? Let's actually just keep using the battle rifle, or should I? Yeah, why not? Let's have some fun with the new specialist from... So far that I know, I don't know if they copied him from anywhere, because, fun fact, basically everything in this game has been copied from somewhere, which is very, very funny. Obviously, the maps are not copied, but it wouldn't surprise me if they are doing, if they would do Counter-Strike DDoS 2 copy at someday, just to, you know, fuck with people. But also, that map isn't actually licensed, just people don't do it out of courtesy. I mean, that's also just more to the degree that, you know, scammers from that are just safer there, but like, yeah. That's the thing. I mean, people forget that the Cold War never really... I mean, it's not copyright theft, because like all of this isn't really copyright. This is more concepts. It's more, you know, again, you can't copyright, you shouldn't be able to copyright game concepts, but like, fight that. This is more like, oh hey, concept theft, and hilariously bad in some areas, because like, look at this. Yeah, they basically just copy pasted the how's it called, fortification systems from Battlefield 5, which is fine. I don't hate that. It's just also the, you know, most simplest version they could have made. So this is probably the thing I find the most fascinating about this game. It's fine. It's fine. Basically every map they made feels like they looked at one concept art, you know, from a popular game they liked, and then built something around it, and they're fine. The whole gameplay is fine, because, you know, basically everything was, I say stolen. I mean, yeah, they did that. I mean, not literally, like, I mean, how they did it was also not really illegal, but still, it's like, and also, it's not that, you know, people didn't know they would do it. But also, I think the irony in that part is that China only now is getting to the point where, let's just put it like this, their own wares are not really that mediocre anymore. It's kind of funny in a sense. Like, let's just put it like this. This isn't to say, you know, again, oh, you know, they do it because, you know, let me put it like this. This is on the wider spectrum. And for example, I'm talking about, for example, stuff I know about trains. In terms of, you know, the general consumer-based stuff, that's definitely, you know, yeah, sure, the parts are made in China. That's a big thing. Like, they definitely have specialized themselves in a lot of stuff like that, but also, like, there it comes down to certain things. Yeah, I mean, also, you know, for example, if you look at, for example, air fryers, okay? Basically all the heating elements there, they're, like, literally the same, because they're probably all coming from one supplier that was specialized in making heating elements, but also, like, it's one of those things where you just have to say, like, So some of that stuff is simple and doesn't really make a problem. It's just like the overall stuff, like for example trains, is a good example because, I get why they stole. By the way, I totally get it. Oh yeah, it's stupid. They have. China's running into so many problems with like. Stop fucking. People are always like, oh, do you know how hard it is to be an MMO healer? You know what? Be a fucking engineer in a Battlefield game. You get annoyed at your dumb damage dealers being like, you pulled shit again. You know what? Enjoy having the tank be like, I need repairs. What if I just drive off? And you're like, come the fuck back, you idiot. I was not done here yet. Anyway, it's like, I get, I mean, also the Indian stuff is also not really that good. I mean, India has similar problems. Remember the burnt down warehouse where, oh yeah, we had totally fire protection. It was like one fire extinguisher on the 3rd floor. It's like, it's all bad, but there's also the whole thing of, having an economy run on cheap labor. Which also sucks. It's just both bad, actually. I mean, I wanted to talk more about the fact that I mean, India is also it's also a fascistic nation. So like, yeah, I wouldn't call. I think the thing is, saying one is the lesser of two evils is more or less. You could at best say it on a personal level because, like, yeah, factually, Indian nationalism is bad right now. This is also just going to come back biting people in the ass in a few years. Like, mark my words on that. They're currently not talking about that a lot because, India is growing market and all of that, but like, yeah, there's shit going on there. But yeah, on the other hand, you have the thing with Chinese products is that products China produces for others. It's just, their own stuff is usually just very mid. But like, I get why they do it because, for example, if you look at trains, yeah, they just stole them. Like, basically they were and nope. They basically went and, bought basically trains from Siemens and shit, and then they copied them and adjusted them. For, to a part I get it, because, train development, especially high-speed rail development, is costly and hard and takes time. And if you want to build, like, a big infrastructure network, which they did, you need to have, some baseline to work off. It's just so funny if you look at some of the trains they made. Like, some of them are like, yeah, that's an ICE3, that's a Velaro. And then I can say, yeah, and there's a reason why those are not getting adopted by basically any other country in the world. They're just doing their job. Similar to how their guns also just do their job. I mean, no, India also did shit in they also have their own things. It's just not talked about enough. In Europe, they talked about that Indian hackers definitely tried to steal a lot of data from European governments. So like, no, India also does their own shit right now. Under Modi, that just ramped up. It's not as it's not as widespread right now because they're not basically in a cold war with America right now, or Russia in that for like. Let's just be really clear here. The Cold War is not over. It's still here. Like, that whole thing will probably not. Oh yeah, I mean that was already an old thing. He just basically accelerated that. But he's also like he doesn't want. they are spying around in Europe and the USA. It's just not as talked as much. They're both not that good. Just one isn't doing it that openly yet. Or, the other one is more like, let's just be real here. Even if Xi Jinping wasn't leading the CCP right now, they would still do it because, like, the CIA won't also stop doing it for obvious reasons. Like, one nation has a lot of industrial capability and economic sway over your country and a large military. Better put some spies in there, and then those will say, huge sway over. They have a huge military and a sway over economy. Maybe put some spies in there, and yeah. I mean, they still do the spy work, but this is more to the fact that the CIA had a field day in South America in the Cold War, and that's basically their reputation nowadays. I mean, for good reason, but still. Oh, so let's go in here and eat some people. No one is here anymore. Oh, come on. I mean, the KGB was also not that good, but this is more the case of, a lot of how's it called, secret services just get over reported on there, like, oh hey, look, they did this great stuff and they did this great stuff, and then some stuff turns out to just be shit. Like, people still say like, oh, the Mossad is so good, and then I just remember everyone about the whole thing in Sweden where they fumbled their shit so badly that basically the Swedish police just picked them up, and then they didn't even need to interrogate them. They just cried and pissed their pants and just told them everything. It's like, yeah, top tier secret service there, Israel. Good job. Absolutely those... Yeah. But yeah. Yeah. Seriously, no wrongdoing. I mean, let me just be really. It's like there's a lot of stuff that's just unnecessary anyway. That is done because you can do it. Like the whole thing with like, for example, the whole thing when Snowden leaked a lot of documents, and that guy now has brain rot as fuck, which is hilarious. But like, not that Chelsea Manning leaked the more important parts anyway. It's like, oh hey, we can collect so much data, and you're like, why would you need it? And like the answer is just in case, maybe. And the answer is always like, it's always the answer, just in case, maybe we can catch something. It's like, it's just so worthless because like, every single time when something happens, it's usually something at the bottom chain, at the bottom of a chain, that gets not fixed or misreported. And everyone's like, how did this happen? Like, a good example, for example, is, we had this thing during Christmas here, where, some guy drove with a car through a Christmas market. Shit that almost happens every year nowadays because it's so easy to do, Basically, you can, basically everyone has a car, or you can steal a car, and Christmas markets are open areas with a lot of people. This isn't me endorsing that. It's just, this is why people do it. It's one of the easiest things to do if you want to do some terror shit. But like, they were warned, but a lot of people just ignored it because of the fact that So, this was a Saudi Arabian guy being a right-wing party supporter who hated Arabs in Germany because too many Syrians. Just, it's like, yeah, you know what? Cool, you just made a litmus test for basically everyone. Like, this setup just fries people's brains. It's like, that is the most normal thing to say about the political ideology. Because it doesn't fit in any filters. And so they just were like, yeah, that doesn't fit, that couldn't be the case. And then like, whoops. I mean, we have a lot of Syrian immigrants. And right now, basically everyone is clamoring like, keep them here. We fucking need them. We actually really need them. It's just very hilarious because like, yeah, just, but also, you know, it's just one of those things where you can realize, hey, you know, right-wing indoctrination and you know, internet brain rot can really set into everyone. But yeah, but you can see how anything just, you know, people are like, why did, you know, the higher police terrorism fail? And they're like, well, we didn't get any real information. And the BND was like, also, we didn't get any real information because it's always failing at the lower levels anyway, you know. I don't know what you say about this, but what you want to say with that, maybe I'm just too stupid. Wait, it's just, yeah. But that's also the thing where you can say Arabs are just, you know, it's just like people from the Arabic region, but like, yeah, Syrian people are not Saudi Arabians. It's a whole different culture. So, yeah, I can see why some of them like. I mean, it's not like, you know, we still have beef between Turks and Kurds here. We're just like, you know, the Kurdish people came here because like no more Turks, and the Turks came here because work, and now they were like, oh, because, you know, the whole genociding thing. Yeah, that just takes us, and like, again, Syrians are not Saudi Arabians for obvious reasons. Well, it's just, yeah, it just was just like, again, the point I just wanted to make is the fact that a lot of terrorism, you know, most terrorism nowadays is decentralized, and there's no, like, let's just put it like this, the days of 9/11 are over. It's just not a thing anymore, really. Like, there's like this whole thing that sometimes, you know, the leftovers of ISIS are like, that was definitely our guy, and then it turns out, you know, even the reason why they were like, this was definitely our guy, and then it turns out, no, it was just some very weird person. Because that's the thing, we're living in the age of the lone wolf radicalization machine. You have so much, what? I'm not muted? What? Huh? I should not be muted. Yeah, I don't know. That? That's weird. I don't know. Could you just open yours maybe and just look at it?
Sure.
This is the final line of defense. Hold it at all costs.
Yeah.
No, I'm hearing you there.
Oh, okay. So,
Allied forces are taking objective Central 1. Reinforce fire support.
I think.
okay. You hear my speech?
Research you again.
Get over it. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Okay, so that's not a... Okay. I can tell him then there's it's not a problem on... It's a problem on his side. Perfect. But also, I just enjoyed that right now. That was fun. Fuck.
And I just heard you for the first time through microphone.
Oh, was it that bad?
Very different.
Secure it with all you've got.
Huh.
Roger that. Artillery barrage incoming.
God damn it.
Vehicle drop to target location.
Artillery barrage ready.
Roger that. Artillery barrage incoming. Allied forces are taking objective Central 1. Reinforce fire support.
Ah, well. That was the first good hook I made in this game. And there we lost.
Enemy
Anyway.
secure their objective. We've lost. Retreat immediately.
Oh well. But yeah, that was the new... it's a weird balance, I would say, because usually, you know, you're basically used to having the shield all the time. And not, you know, as a... Oh, you put it on constantly. So we have some progress here, I guess. You know, I could open some card packs soon. Oh, well, we do that at the end of the stream then. Oh yeah, perfect. Do we have some other fun stuff? Oh yeah, right, the upper rail. I haven't put a guard here yet. Do we have... No, we can't do one here. So that's not doing. Yeah, this one works. Why is it called a... that's not a drum mag. Why is it called a... Well, let's see. Armory. We have engineer operator. Okay, perfect. Then we can keep playing him, but don't know how long. How many do we have here? Oh, 73. Yeah, that's... Oh! Yeah, that is definitely that does make sense then. If you press mute, it's gone. Let's get some more nice hooks in. Oh, you know what? Let's do this map again. If we're a defender, I might just switch, but let's see. And then we do some of the normal maps.
Taking the Skynet satellite down has infuriated Hazard. They've started a covert weapons research program in an unmapped mine that is capturing the sector, and the enemy will have no place to hide.
Oh! Oh god, I you know what, sorry, my brain just didn't work out that you said seizing. Yeah, okay, that's bad, sorry. Oh god. Yeah, seizing sucks. I can't really talk from experience, but also my gun is anyway. I'm playing with an invisible gun this time. Oh, we got a kill. Invisible gun kill, perfect. Ah, fuck. What's a tonic colonic? Oh, there we go. Grand Mal. Maybe I'm just really too stupid right now. Ah! Yeah, okay, that definitely is bad. Especially tongue biting. But yeah, let's get the shield out again. And see, I don't know if they if this is like their first own design, because I generally think the balance isn't that bad. At least the idea of, you know, having a slow hook is not bad, in my opinion. Die. Oh! Because, like, usually grappling hooks are, you know, the whole, you know, you yeet it somewhere and you pull yourself towards it, which is like, you know, it's unrealistic. But the idea of you have a grappling hook to pull stuff to you, that's actually kind of neat, I might say so. Because, yeah, I mean, hey, I can at least talk about biting my tongue because I did that because I'm stupid. Then again, I had surgery on the tongue once, and that was not fun. Because the tongue really is like, you did something to me. How about I swell the fuck up? And you're like, oh no. And you're like, and the tongue's like, yes. It is very enjoyable, I can tell you that. But yeah, generally I find it interesting because like I like the idea of hooks, like grappling hooks in video games, but I always am like, huh. Oh god, I hated that. I mean, it was, necessary because, on birth my tongue was, it was still connected to, the lower part of my mouth. So, they had to, just cut through that. But you couldn't talk. So, yeah, that was a fun summer holiday, just having a few weeks where I just couldn't say shit. And had to drink soup. Love that part. It's really enjoyable. But yeah, in general, I think the part with grappling hooks is that most games nowadays use it, to do the whole you pull yourself towards a position. And, depending on the game, that's fine. See Titanfall 2, Apex Legends, a lot of them. But every time I, look at, for example, Mackay and 2042, I'm like, it's fine, but I don't know if this is, like, the best idea. But, like, ironically, I would say the idea of the grappling hook in this game, as in you pull stuff to you, is really good. I genuinely like that idea, because it could actually be used in so many more ways, in a bigger game, without having the problem of, well, how do you design maps? Because in 2042, a lot of maps have to be, have to take into the fact that, one character can just point up there and go up there from every angle. Which, yeah, you have some vertical maps and they're nice, but I generally think, it's the whole thing of you need to know what you're building around, and like most people can't use that, because their character doesn't allow it. And I mean, yes, it's part of the asymmetrical gameplay, but long story short, I don't know if the quote-unquote classic grappling hook is good for a Battlefield-style game. But, like... Huh. This one is actually nice. I like the idea of, it's slower. You can pull people towards you, so, you can actually punish camping in that sense. I haven't shown that yet, but... maybe I can do now, because... So it's this stupid thing that happened, that is kind of this thing that I wanted to do, is the, oh hey, whoop, let me just put it like, It depends. It's like, if you make it really, really easy and, someone can lock a position without getting punished, it's just, that's the thing, You definitely want... People forget how games should be designed. Like, for example, good games have stuff like power positions, but a power position that shouldn't mean unpunishable, because... that just, that's game flow in that sense. But yeah, also you can pull closer, down team members, which is like, that's so smart actually. If you can pull crates closer and stuff, because, sometimes an idiot just throws a crate, or is it like there's a crate lying in the open, you could just reposition it. And I've been thinking about a bunch of design recently, because, like, I mean, I like Battlefield games, and I think a lot about, hey, how can you do this better in terms of the design? And I've been slowly thinking about some adjustments, because, for example, since 5, but also before that, basically the medic, basically the class that heals got smokes. Which makes sense, because, you conceal someone in smoke, and then you revive them, right? And then they had the whole thing going on with, hey, we should try and make we should have the soldier dragging feature in, which they couldn't do in 5 because of technical limitations and shit. And it's also like, the easiest solution would simply be you can, just crawl away a little bit for a while, but which they have now in the game, but that's a different thing. Because again, dragging someone feels just very, very. It just feels so prone to problems, in my opinion. But when you go in and have something like, but the irony is, you can drag people with this grappling hook. Which is, like, yeah, why isn't that type of hook on a healing class type? That would make more sense than on an engineer, because, like, you're like, oh, you can just pull shit to safety. Oh, that actually makes so much more sense. But then you're like, oh, what about, for example, what about, how's it called, the smoke? Like, I'd say actually give engineers smoke. Remember when I talked about the whole thing, just at the beginning of the stream, about how everyone just drives away all the time? A lot of times I do that, when they're safe anyway. But, it's also just true that there's sometimes not enough cover to, repair vehicles in. However, it would be really nice if, you could just smoke a vehicle and then, like, whoop, hey, you have a nice little, smoke wall, and where you can just, repair your vehicle behind. That would actually be kind of nice, wouldn't it? Anyway. But yeah. Again, for the first time, for apparently their only line, I think these devs actually nailed something. Again, if someone then comes and be like, oh, actually Zeneva is just taking this and this from this game very liberally, and I'm like, okay, yeah. Doesn't surprise me. I played those, and I'm not really a fan of these kinds of games, actually. Like, I know, the Milsim audience has their fans, but I am not one of those. I try, but it's just not for me. Oh, I read Triplay. I get it. But I mean, those games are more like, you shoot someone and you die, and it's like, I like the more, I like when it's less that. Yeah, no, I'm in the Battlefield part. It's like, it's like, I just really like the Battlefield series, but that's, that's me. I mean, one of the first games I streamed was Battlefield. And probably one of the last games I will stream is Battlefield. And I will keep having opinions on Battlefield. Weirdly enough, I'm not grinding it in terms of stream time as much as other people, other people do. I couldn't do that. I mean, maybe when I was young. Like, not now. The olden times when... Oh, you cowards. Honestly, Fortnite, I can't. Like, Battle Royale games are just not for me anyway. But, like... I know, I played a lot of Battlefield. It's a series that was there in, like, a lot of times where it was really dark for me, actually. I found, like, a bunch of friends would, so, like, no, I will probably never stop playing it. Yeah, that's the thing. The whole I die in a second. I Why did it tap out? The fuck happened? Just keeps happening. It's just, I just don't vibe with that.
80% of our troops remain. Continue to push.
Eh. Yeah, I mean, I played a bit of Rising Storm, it's just... Also, I mean, when I played Rising Storm Vietnam and shit, the servers were just empty, so that was a thing. I mean, the Milsim community is the Milsim community. I think the worst part for me is always when then people come over and it's like, oh, Battlefield needs to be that. Yeah, and it was that, and it fucking undersold, because, like, this... I think the worst part about this is that, that, you know, a lot of these games are treated the same because, you know, oh, you know, they have big battles and vehicles, but, like, fundamentally, they're two completely different audiences. This isn't bad, by the way. This is like, you know, to each their own. It's just, I think it's kind of an important distinction that should be made. Like, you know, how basically Unreal Tournament also had vehicles and big maps and a lot of players back in the day, but no one would say, oh, Unreal Tournament is, should go realistic. I mean, that's its own thing of game. It's a thing. Like, it's a different thing to approach, in my opinion, because, like, the whole part about the minimap with markers is it's an information game, and it's one part that's just in that sense different because, oh hey, what do you do you sacrifice stuff for a suppressor? Do you this? But like also that has been grinded down to a degree because, you know, remember when that was a gameplay mechanic when you really were like, hey, do you want to pick the suppressor and you can just only put like 2 things on your gun, and this was like, there was also a hefty downside and you had to be like, That's probably the biggest part in my opinion with modern games, with a lot of the modern iterations, is that if you look at where they were coming from, there was a clear design line to things, and that is just getting eroded more and more because, you know, it's the MMO experience. It's the MMO thing. Yeah, that's the thing. That's part we are like subjective when like I can't stand it. I just get frustrated and I hate it. And this is a lot of people. But like, yeah, that's the thing with, you know, I don't think there's like any merit like really trying to compare it or so, it being like this and this. It's just two different communities. It's just two different things people want from a game, and it always will be. Especially since, you know, the flow is just drastically different, and I genuinely like that because, you know, I mean, okay, fuck it, I played Unreal Tournament, hell, I mapped for Unreal Tournament, so obviously I kind of like a game that is kind of in the vein of Unreal Tournament and Tribes, I suppose, on that matter. I mean, that's the irony about that. You know, Tribes was supposed to be a sci-fi Battlefield-like game once, and then people are like, yeah, but Tribes is being played with Capture the Flag. Yes, and the original Battlefield game had Capture the Flag. The only difference between both of them is that Tribes, people realized there was a bug you can abuse for movement, and Capture the Flag became really, really good for that. While in Battlefield, they realized, if you play Conquest, that makes more fun, so they ditched Capture the Flag. Except when they bring it back for some reason sometimes. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. One of the parts that I will always say that makes a lot of old school, arcade shooter fans hurt, even though I'm the same. But I think this is always like the big differentiation is that Call of Duty took the Quake community. That literally fucking happened, by the way. A lot of old Quake players went to Call of Duty later. Because a lot of the same ideas and mechanics are being used in those games. They overlap much more than any tactical shooter. Like, the tactical shooter it's kind of ironic because they have always been played and were different. Meanwhile, Call of Duty and Battlefield are basically spin-offs, of Unreal Tournament and Quake. I mean, fuck it. Call of Duty runs on the Quake engine. Like, literally, it's the Quake engine. I mean, okay, it's not the Quake engine anymore. Obviously, they changed a lot of stuff about it. But that was based on Quake. It's the Attack 3 engine, and then they made the IW engine out of that. Which is why I find it always so funny when people were like, 10 years ago when people were like, they need to ditch their engine, it is so bad. And I just sat there being like, do you know what you're talking about? It does that. I mean, it's a certain restriction in that sense. Like, let's just put it like this. I always like, taking an analogy of movies in that sense, because let's just look at, for example, Commando. It's a classic, Commando is bullshit. It's amazing bullshit, by the way. Like, I'm not going to let anyone shit talk Commando, but like, I'm sorry, everyone saw the clip of Arnold Schwarzenegger just blasting everything to bits and pieces by firing, the 4-barreled rocket launcher. The thing is, a lot of action movies using action stars are doing a lot of things where, like, if you really think about it, yeah, that is stretching reality to a certain degree. Where you could ask yourself, why aren't they just fully committing to like a sci-fi or something different? Because the thing is, realistic parts still ground an experience in some form. Because, you still, if you have modern guns in a movie or a game or so, that is still a thing where people, roughly know how they work. Can roughly relate to their functionality. And they usually know the limits, which is, yes, sometimes there is this fun thing where, like, oh boy howdy, there are sure a lot of bullets in that 6-shot revolver. But also, usually less the key. It's more in setting certain limits, so the impact of some parts is higher. And it's similar with Call of Duty and like it's action movie logic. But it's there to ground stuff. Yeah. My family is. I mean, okay. My dad was in the Bundeswehr, but like they all had to be in the Bundeswehr. And I guess I can talk. I guess I can say one of my great-grandfathers was definitely... I mean, the other one was in the military, but, one of my great-grandfathers was a partisan, so... Hey, at least I can say Nazi killing is in the family. Rare to say that here. But, yeah, no, they're more like, no, And I still remember, interestingly, I played this game, like, I played Battlefield 3 back in the day, and my dad watched me a few times and was like,
Barrage ready.
you can't run like that with this LMG. It's like, yeah, Dad, I know, I get it, but like, it's a bit different, from where someone comes from, but like, there's also the whole thing with, oh wait. Oh, I wanted to pull out my repair tool. I pulled out the rocket launcher. So yeah, it's just not my thing. So yeah, it's like, I like action movies. I like action movies that are like, it's close enough to reality. This is not, that I dislike, for example, Doom. I actually played a lot. Hell, this channel is partially a boomer shooter channel. So, if you're wondering if we get back to that, Sunday, Half-Life 2, I'm gonna go through pain. But yeah.
Strategic beacon ready to deploy.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it's not that it's not to say, oh, none of my great-grandfathers were in the military, but, they were in that military. Those that you fought, your grandfathers fought. That's just a thing, again, except that one who was partisan, so that's that.
Capture the last.
Well,
The enemy has captured objective Delta 1. Victory in sight. They can't hold much longer.
eh. Yeah, I guess it's a different thing. It's just, yeah. For me, it's like, it's the whole action movie thing, but like, it's not that, if you make a movie that is pretty strong in terms of, how shit was, the thing is just that you will usually end up with some kind of anti-war movie, because, I mean, if you make a movie about the, with all the brutalities and gruesomeness of war, it's like,
This is their last line of defense.
it's gonna be very much a fucking tonal whiplash if then someone goes, oh yeah, this is amazing.
Barrage ready.
Yeah, here it's more like, don't ask the family about the military history. You will not have good answers. Not at all. Like, oh god. Like, yeah. Then again, German family history. It's like, do we talk about the time between 1936 and 1945? The answer is no. Because whatever it was, it's not good. And you do not want to talk about it.
We're going to win these. We neutralized objective Delta 2.
Strategic beacon ready to deploy.
All enemy forces neutralized. Nice work.
Like, mean, I get it. I mean, I think you said you were from, I think, Appalachia? Or that region? So I get it, yeah. It's... Here it was mostly a thing, you know, people were forced to do, and then, you know, I do remember how my dad was, you know, he still talks about that because, you know, he was in the,
Mine removal?
he was in the mine removal, no, not the mine removal group. The engineering squad that were supposed to mine shit.
Oh.
So yeah, and basically it's the, let me just check, because, I mean, the thing is, it's kind of funny when I talk to him about, I basically could play his old unit in Varno. That was kind of, you know, he was a bit like, neat. It's you know, it's not all of that, but like for him it's like, where do we have it? But basically his unit was ordered to be like, where do we have him? Like, oh yeah, you're gonna be the first ones in the Fulda Gap. And you're gonna mine the shit out of it. Yeah. And, oh, yeah, that's bad. Like, yeah. I can only tell, I can only talk at that part about my great uncle, I think was it. I think he was my great uncle. Yeah, great uncle. That fucking guy survived World War I and World War II. On the losing side. Like, imagine being over... Hi, bot, by the way. Bye, bot. Like, imagine being over 100... Yeah, he made it over 100, by the way. And, like, you know, over 100 years old, bedridden, and you still have fucking PTSD. That's bad. That's, like, really not good in that regard. Was bad, people. Some might say it's hell, even. Let's see. Oh god, we're on our way at least. Let's go to the normal ones. Let's have some fun on normal maps. Pull some people with the hook. Yeah, it's just there's a lot of stuff to talk about when it comes to that. But here it really is just a big old... Things are bad and people, you know, usually don't really talk about it. Oh yeah, they was, oh yeah, my dad did tell me, like, they had once in the... Was it 70s or 80s? But basically, they were actually once deployed and they were basically told, like, hey, if you don't get like another message in 72 hours, war's on, fucking mine that Fulda Gap. And I think they were at like 68 hours, then they got the message of no, everything's fine. Like, imagine sitting there for like almost 3 days, just needing to be ready and being like, yeah, you know what? If that timer runs out, World War III is on. It's like...
Everything you need to succeed, so make sure they crumble under the weight of our might.
That's the thing. Okay. Yeah, that is widely different.
GTI has destroyed the Skynet satellite and debris is falling. Repair the radar and detonator ready in the air to avoid causing greater damage on the ground.
Oh, Right. Oh yeah, those many things here are.
Radar is 50% repaired. Don't let up.
You have to repair like 2 positions of them on the map, and then something happens. Oh. Have some repairs. There we go. Honestly, it's kind of funny how they made it so that the whole, you know, building fortifications isn't faster than with than when an engineer does it, because that was one of the main things 5 did when they copied it from. It's like, why? Again, it's also just like the most basic version they could done. It's just, you know, it's sandbags.
Enemy has taken objective.
It's not a bad feature, I would say. Generally, you know, if a game puts it in, I don't mind. I generally like the idea of being able to, you know, build and repair some things. It's just so wild to have something where you look at it and you're like, oh yeah, this is like just the most basic version of what you had in the game. Like, oh god, that's almost over half a decade. Oh god. Battlefield 5 was 2018, I think? Oh god. That game is old. It was recent, right? Also, this coastal artillery piece is kind of worthless, because the irony about this map is it's a beach landing, basically riffing off Iwo Jima, but also it's not a beach landing. You can't actually go down to the beach. You can't actually control the beach. It's just it's a spawn zone. You just, you know, the attacking team just drives up with boats, and it's like, what? Yeah, this is still, I think this map is still the best example of, oh yeah, this game is fine, but it's also just like, why? Because yeah, in every other Battlefield game, no, you would need to actually land on that fucking beach. And, you know, you had tanks to do that with. You know, IFVs, amphibious IFVs to be I mean, I can tell. Frankly, again, widely different family history in that regard. Like, so basically, mostly influenced was by my mother's side, because we lived in the same village. And as I told you, my great grandfather from dad's side, also my grandpa's father, he was a partisan and also author before that. So, you know, he wrote leftist critiques back in Weimar, Berlin. So, yeah, the Nazis really didn't like him in that regard, and so he then went like, you know, I guess I should start fighting them. And that happened. My grandpa was, my grandpa was a hostage during that time, because they tried to lure him out, but, you know, well, didn't happen. Oh yeah, I can, yeah, I heard about the whole tunnel rat thing. That's So yeah. My family was really not pro-war in that regard. In general, not all. I mean, both sides on that regard. Kinda happens when, you know, your country was bombed to shits. Or, you know...
The enemy has taken objective Bravo 1. Key objectives must remain in our hands.
Oh, there's one. Oh, come on.
They sustain minimal loss,
Ow, that's,
defending the sector.
yeah, that definitely doesn't sound that nice. Not being able to register when you're full, that sounds definitely awful.
The enemy in objective Bravo 1 has been neutralized.
I didn't get it.
Enemy is attacking objective Bravo 2.
But also, like, I can definitely say that, you know... Oh no, someone licks the plate. A bit weird, but also like, why the fuck would you need to yell at someone? In the first place. Ah, yeah. Yeah, being coded with Agent Orange, definitely, that's not good.
Attention, objective Bravo 1 is now under enemy control.
There we go.
Our forces have taken full control of objective Bravo 2. Be advised, enemy troops are attacking objective Bravo 2.
Yeah. Oh well.
Be advised, enemy are attacking objective Bravo 2.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I can, and the thing with pro officer is like, let's just be real here. There's a reason why, you know, the whole term fragging came from the fucking Vietnam War.
Allied forces are clearing objective Bravo 1. Our situation is severe. Satellite debris has hit the spire, causing complete damage.
Okay. Okay, honestly, this is also the other part I really like, and I just don't know if they stole it from somewhere, but if you hit someone with a shield, they just fly back on their ass. It's just very satisfying, you know? Oh yeah, by the way. I think it was over here. Yeah. Ah, no one can do it now. Suckers.
Has been repaired and is about to start targeting debris.
So those were the firework beacons that I couldn't find the last time. They're just on some maps.
High threat enemy marked. Destroy them.
And now, you know, this is what happens.
What beautiful fireworks.
Fireworks. Let's not get hit by falling debris.
Shit falls down from the sky. It's definitely different. So it's a bit of firework. So yeah, if you're wondering if anyone is wondering how can I do the fireworks, first of all, those are the two positions on this map. I think you can get it in Breakthrough or in Conquest, and I think they have to say at the beginning of the round, like, oh hey, the network, I think Skynet network has been destroyed, yada yada, and then you know it's on this map. If they don't say that it's not on the map, just don't bother looking actually. Okay.
Enemy has 50% of their forces left and is still strong. Refund all this sector.
God damn it. Rip. Yeah, not... That definitely sucks in that regard. Eh. Okay.
Strategic beacon ready to deploy.
Ow. Yeah.
Be advised. Enemy troops are attacking objective Charlie 1.
I mean, it's you know, that kind of reminds me of the fact that I'm like, you know, you kind of I was like, you know, what did I learn from my family in a lot of ways? And it's like, I do know that basically both my grandfathers try to tell me a lot how to repair shit or, you know, build things on your own. And in that regard, I can understand why, because I mean, again, they both basically grew up needing to rebuild the whole fucking country, so.
More than half of their troops. Maintain defensive line.
So they definitely were like, listen, if you need to do something, you better learn it. And like. On the other hand, not not that if one of my grandfathers once basically told me on the side, like, hey, so if you ever want to hide shit, or you know, basically he got me tips how to best smuggle shit, because guess what, he was a smuggler. And, you know, not for the longest time, but he was a smuggler. Out of necessity, but yeah. So he was like, maybe time to hand a bit of that information down. Couldn't hurt. So yeah. Honestly, probably one of the, now that I think about it, probably not a bad skill set to actually have. Or, you know, not the worst skill set. Like, that's the thing. You probably are not like, hey, do I ever actually need to smuggle shit? The answer is probably not. But the thing is, if ever the chance arises that you do need to smuggle some shit, it's kind of good to know how to handle it, you know? Wow. Yeah, that sounds interesting. That definitely sounds not that useful. Oh, clipping. I mean, you know what? I guess at least on some things one can look back and be like, yeah, that was a bit weird, maybe. I mean, that's used. Honestly, communicating with hand signs, that's a useful skill, in my opinion. You never know when you need that. Again, actually very useful to combine with the whole smuggling thing. But yeah. That was just a time, I'd say. I mean, it's, you know, when you go and have the whole... Yeah. Bleh. Yeah, I mean, for me, it's like, I also never had to smuggle shit, so, you know. At least now I know some things on how you know, at least get past border controls, I suppose. Yeah, it's basically a short overview on, you know, why he did it. Basically, he lived directly, he lived near the border between the French and American occupation zones. And the thing is, the French, they were not really that nice in that sense. You know, this isn't like, oh, the mean French. This is more of an, you know, the French that didn't, you know, roll over with Vichy France. They were like, yeah, we really want to have some, you know, revenge and want to prevent shit happening again. So they were just not really that nice. And meanwhile, I mean, the Americans, as you know, they just sent care packages. The Americans were just like, have food, have shelter, have drink. So basically it was kind of lucrative if you were like, you know, able to get that shit and bring it over to the French side. Meaning, you know, you had to go past border controls on both sides. So yeah. I mean, by the way, if anyone is now, oh god, you know, if anyone hears that and it's like, oh, should that not be prosecuted? He's dead. He's dead for years now. You can't prosecute my grandpa anymore. He fucking outlived you. Anyway, yeah. That's just the thing. But what you learn from your family is usually, you know, very much down to what the family history is. A lot of family history here is rebuild shit. Also, weirdly, a lot how to deal with border patrols now if you think about it. Yeah, that's just... I guess that's the overlap when one side has a smuggler and the other side has a refugee.
The situation is critical. Stand your ground, defend at all costs.
Oh, but that is definitely the most normal thing to teach a child, yeah. Definitely a smart thing to tell a child, oh yeah, keep always one bullet in case you're being surrounded, which is like... I mean, you know what, it definitely depends on who you are fighting, because like... I mean, the irony is that, you know, let's say you're an American soldier during World War II. You know, you're fighting the Nazis. You will be treated relatively well. I mean, you're a POW, but, you know, you're not gonna be dead. Because when the Nazis fought the Americans, they, you know, they still held to the Geneva Convention. The Japanese didn't fucking care though, which, I mean, I guess, but also, different thing. Was shoot by Jump Street? What? What do you mean with that? But yeah. The Japanese were horrible. Like... Also, god damn it, why the fuck would you steal pain medication from a veteran with a gun? God.
Artillery barrage ready.
Oh, that should actually create a new event. No? Okay. Okay, so there should be an event that if you hit it with a rocket, the tower should collapse and, you know, the conquest area the area should change, but I guess not.
The enemy secured their objective. We've lost. Retreat to
Damn. I mean, it's not that I didn't see dead bodies, but, you know, not shot in the street. More like, you know, they usually died normally and then, you know. Oh, 5 years old. Yeah, that is definitely... God. Oh well. Meanwhile, the worst that happens, quote unquote, around where I live was like a few years ago, literally down this, like just a bit down the block, there was a hostage situation. The guy demanded the Capri Sun. It was literally diffused by the special, I don't know if it's basically this. It was GSG9, I think. They were like, oh, it's a hostage, and they were like, what do you want? A Capri Sun. They were like, sure. Walked down to the Rewe around the corner and just gave him the cat, which is like, I know I joke about it now because, mental problem. Like, something happened and shit, but like, you know, I joke about it because in hindsight, it is kind of funny to be like, you know, there is a macabre absurdity about, you know, someone holding hostages for a Capri Sun, but like, it is good that it, you know, ended as it did, as in, you know, no one died, and he got his Capri Sun. And from what I know, there weren't charges pressed, so like, I mean, I guess trauma dumping is the theme of the stream now, so go on. I'm not going to stop you. Nice. Doing pretty well, even though we don't hook a lot of people right now. More rocket launching, actually. God. I think he was a paranoid schizophrenic. I mean, she chased her brother with a butcher's knife. It was sent to an institution where she drowned a kitten. Like, what? God damn it.
It is imperative that we disrupt the research and development of Havoc's research.
That's... god, I have a feeling I know where this one ends.
Established. Clear the villages at the foot of the mountains, and then push towards the target. Windy Bridge Power Station. Fight your way to the control room
Oh!
and cut off their
Lovely.
power supply for mission success. Take relink off the table. We move at dusk.
Yeah.
Neutralize the enemy and take over all sectors.
That definitely sounds very... That definitely sounds very healthy for a child to experience.
Attention all units. The Authority has destroyed Havoc's Skynet satellite, but the debris
Like, oh hey, this girl across you, yeah, she murdered someone. Can you just play with her? Normal thing. Normal thing. Again, I mean...
Glad you helped me out.
Yeah...
Back into fight.
I guess that's an upside. I mean, everyone probably has their own type of trauma in their childhood. Especially, I feel like especially when you live in a rural area, there's just a time until trauma to a degree. You just don't know what it is gonna be, you know?
Sector Alpha under control. Neutralize all enemy forces. The radar is 50% repaired. Keep going. Attack. Keep them out.
That sounds like, you know what? I know you say I should you not, but like getting hit twice by lightning after being an alligator wrestler, that just sounds like the average Florida experience from what I gathered from the internet. Like, I guess. God, my family's boring in comparison. Like,
Allied troops launching an assault on Objective Bravo 2.
okay, I mean, I guess, yeah, that is tall. I guess that's why he survives the alligator wrestling.
We've neutralized Objective Bravo 2.
Die. Okay, sorry. This is just fun.
Bravo
This is just fun to do. Oh, you can run into people. Ah, fuck. Yeah, that's the thing, you know, alligators, if they bite you, they just spin you in the water and you're dead. But the thing is, if you keep their mouth shut, they just don't do a lot, because that's actually their weak point. Good thing he wasn't into bear wrestling. That's a one-time experience. You know, a once in a lifetime experience. Okay, fuck. Yeah, I know. Very normal Florida things, I know, I guess. Yeah, no, like... I mean, in comparison, my uncle, you know... Okay, from my father's side, he was blind, and also, you know... Like, he was great. I still miss him. He didn't fucking deserve what happened. Ow! That's a lot of stitches. Yeah, don't anger the bears. Don't anger bears. Bad idea. Honestly, I think boiling grease would maybe even do something against the bear. I mean, you know, if a bear gets hit by boiling grease, they're probably more like, oh god, what is going on? Rather than, I need to attack the person in front of me. Kick is more like, no, the thing is angry now, you're dead. Boiling grease is probably more like, oh god, I'm in hell. But also like, yeah, we don't have bears here.
Sometimes.
Sometimes, if they wander over from Italy. We had foxes, though. Okay, the foxes were cute. They just were... They're very cute. And also a lot of dogs. Because, good lord, if I will ever say one thing, is that I will never fucking trust dog owners. You know, here's the thing. I don't have beef with dogs. I'm just scared of them because of the fucking dog owners. Because there were so many dog owners like, listen, you just don't understand my hobby. And it's like, your fucking dog, you treat them as an attack dog, you idiot. Like, that's actually just a thing. A lot of dog owners here try to have, you know, guard dogs, and they do some shit. And those things are always some aggressive, and, you know, every time... Because... they are also, you know, traumatized, and then every time those traumatized dogs do, you know, do the obvious thing and be like, oh, listen, oh, look, there's a thing of my size I can attack, aka the children. It's always like, listen, the child had to do something wrong. It couldn't have been my friendly dog that I hang out, you know, a fucking thing in front of my porch to warn everyone about them, because, like, haha, it's bitey watchdog. Yeah. I think I heard that prison napalm is a thing, but I don't know what it is exactly. Yeah, probably grease. It's probably grease in some form. Oh. Yeah, sugar. Heated up sugar. That sounds definitely very nice. Yeah.
Allied troops engaging in Objective Bravo 2. Objective Bravo 1 is under attack.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there was someone. Fuck. Yeah, you know, I get why it's called napalm, because yeah, that hot sugar definitely sticks to the face. That's not nice. Yeah, well. Yeah, no, this countryside living was weird. And some, you know, some of the early stuff was like, you know, you're friends with the farmers' children around the corner, because like there were a lot of farmers' children, and you do shit like, you know, drive the tractor, or you know, jump into the corn silo. That was fun actually. Like it's like water, just not. And then one day that guy just has a weird moment and fucking starts to strangle you, and then you're like, what the fuck? And it traumatizes you for the rest of your life, and you don't hear from them ever again. Whoops. Great. Yeah. Honestly, tasers are like. That's always the thing with tasers, you know. They always, you know, they don't work on the people they should work on. And then they always use them on the people they definitely work on, but then you shouldn't use them.
Strategic beacon ready to deploy.
Well. The fuck? Yeah, why would you do that? Yeah, that's fast twitch, triple kill. I'm a pro at shooters. I can kill people fast. No. I mean, God. You know, I know that, you know, this is like... I think the closest comparison I have was, you know, when we were on holiday. My father thought like, hey, it would be kind of funny if I threw my child into the Adriatic Sea. And like, I was relatively small back then. Just so you know, Adriatic Sea is like the... It's the right part of the sea from Italy. It's nice. It's nice and warm, but like when you get flung in there and it is a little bit shallow. Let me just tell you, my ass hurt. And like he was like, oh shit. Like he regretted it that it never happened again, but like my ass hurt. On the other hand, I shouldn't be That? Angry, I guess with him I was capable of hurting myself way more on my own. In the background, oh god.
Strategic beacon deployed.
So, yeah, in waters where alligators are in, like, how the no. No, that's just, no, you don't do that. Just don't. What the fuck? Ah.
Attention! We've lost half our forces. Roger that. Artillery barrage incoming.
Yeah. God damn it. Anyway, let's... Now what? Let's get in there with some shield act... Don't you shoot at me.
Strategic beacon ready to deploy.
This objective to make or break the battle. Take it down.
Yeah, 6-7 is,
Artillery barrage ready.
Okay, sorry, I'm just, like, very happy about shield power. I kinda like the idea that you're just, like, how they balance in this game, that you're, like, literally a Montagne-style fuck-off shield person. Yeah, the throwing down is such a... You have puny rocket launcher! Die, human! God damn it. Wait. He burned himself with the green. I mean, he deserves an ass kicking for that, but like, that's the thing of, you know, oh, the person is just really big and strong. No one can do something against that. They usually turn into assholes. Usually. Yeah, dumb. When it comes to dumb shit, I was capable of doing a lot of stuff on my own. Wasn't it the 6-7 guy?
Artillery barrage incoming.
Oh well. Yeah.
Allied troops neutralizing objective Delta 1.
Artillery barrage ready.
Roger that. Artillery barrage incoming. Objective Delta 1 is stay close.
I'm going people fishing. Oh.
Artillery barrage ready.
Yeah. I guess everyone has their own... I mean... Frankly, I can say I might be lucky that my uncle is just... You know, just shitty, and I guess in Scientology, but... That's that. The other uncles are fine. I mean, I get... Aside from the one, you know... Yeah. But, you know, everyone has that one shitty uncle who's, like, shitty in a very special way, I'd say. Again, the other uncles are like, they're chill, they're nice. It's just, you know, one of them is a Scientologist that tried to fuck over everyone in the family after his father died, so wonderful. Also, basically fucking plundered everything my grandparents had, so, like, great. I mean, you know, if you're just a little bit scummy and shit, like, okay, who cares? Again, the rich one, in at least this, in my family circle, is the one where you're like, oh god.
Allied troop force left. We must pick up the pace. Allied troops engaged in effective Delta 2.
Tiny humans. Nope. The tank wall holds, Yeah, well. Yeah, no, it's... Well, yeah, that's actually a valid point. But yeah, I guess, ugh. God damn it. That really is the classic racist. Oh, God.
Strategic beacon ready to deploy.
Attack. Keep them out. This is their last lane. Take the sector.
Definitely a very normal one.
Copy. Vehicle dropped to designated location.
God damn it. Oh, God. Yeah, it's like, you know, in my brain there was this one meme format, you know, the whole, I can excuse being gay, but I draw the line at interracial relationships, and you just sit there being like, what the fuck did I just hear? How the fuck does this, how? You know? Like, yeah, that's, I can totally see why you do not like the person. You know. again, I guess not a detriment to your health.
This is their last line of defense. Roger that. Artillery barrage incoming. Copy.
God. At least the one shitty uncle I have is just shitty on a very personal level.
One objective left. You're almost there. Smoke screen incoming. Capture the last sector. We're going to win.
Yeah.
Artillery barrage ready. Strategic beacon ready to deploy.
God, where the fuck is that? Ah, fuck. Well, yeah, I mean,
Glad you helped me out. 50% Allied troop force left. We must pick up the pace.
could be. I don't know.
Can't hold much longer.
Uh,
Roger that. Artillery barrage incoming. They've nowhere else to run. Final push.
sorry if I'm not talking a lot. It's just I don't know. I don't know how much to add to that. Again, I mean, I didn't have that in my family, and the shit I had is just a very different kind of scummy, like
Artillery barrage ready.
fucking yeah. Let's just put it like this. There's a reason I'm not talking to that one uncle anymore. I mean, there's just not a lot of contact anymore because, you know, most of the family is dead. Well, you know, connecting family, but yeah. Still. Okay, there we go. Oh well, yeah, no, I don't know where to go next with that. I guess families is just fucked up in some form. Then again, you always, as I always say, you decide who's your family. I mean, not who's your relatives, by the way. It's just like, family is the thing you decide. Also, yeah, this is not a drum mag. I will happily take it, but this is not a drum mag. Just no way in hell. I get it in the I get it's closer and shit, but like, yeah, I mean, not everyone just can move away. Like, I basically moved across the fucking country 10 years ago, so yeah, I don't have the most contact anymore with my relatives. Yeah, okay, we won't get that. Let's just keep going anyway. Let's do in the last round. Let's do some bit different stuff. Any interesting gun? We could do the bison a bit at least. Oh yeah, you know what? We can use the other new guns. I think we probably just open some stuff on stream. That should be doable. Like, yeah, for me it's, the family just generally, the relatives generally, lived a bit apart, but not that much. But it was apart enough, But then I just left, and that was it, basically. Then again, I mean, my mom basically threw me out, and she didn't expect me to say, "Okay, fuck you. I'm going to move in with my girlfriend then." And then I was gone, and she was like, "Pikachu face." I told her. I fucking told her. It's just it wasn't even something big in hindsight. I'd say it was just, yeah. She snapped a little bit and then was like, if you want this way, you can move in with your girlfriend. I was like, okay, booked the train ticket, and I was gone. And she was like, everyone was like, is she coming back? And I was like, my mom was like, probably. Is she keeping it? I was like, no, I ain't coming back. And she was like, oh, okay. So there's no, by the way, just so everyone knows, there's no beef between me and my mom right now. That's long gone. That's like long gone. It is just very funny in hindsight, It's just very funny in hindsight. I'm sorry. Like, she legitimately thought I would just, sleep at my grandma's house for like a few days. And then, talking about it, I was like, no, fuck you. I'm gone. Like, I packed my fucking bag in less than an hour, went to the train station, and was gone. That is over 11 years ago, in a few days, actually. Yeah, in a few days, there's like there's basically the whole... I think that's one thing where I would at least say, I don't think my parents would ever, let me be homeless. That's one upside. This was literally just something that she said, that she just said in the moment. And like, didn't really think much about it, and then it just blew back into her face, like, oh, okay. But yeah, that's fucked up. I know. Honestly, there's so many times where I like hear some people being like I think one of the weirdest things for me is just realizing that I've been taking progression time because. Ooh. I think you told me about that once. But yeah, no, for me it's like, I mean, it's still kind of weird to learn, you know, sometimes stuff like, how people are like, oh yeah, I have to rent stuff for my father and shit. And I just sit there being like, why the fuck is your family? Like, again, this is just like, and this isn't just the thing where I will say, you know, yeah, that's a lot of distance. I don't know how much distance we have here, but yeah, probably not as much. But yeah, it is always wild to me when people are like, no, you know, paying rent to my parents is just normal the moment you become an adult, and I just sit there and be like, what the fuck? I guess that's just a thing a lot of families do. You know, it's like, what? I mean, I guess. Also, hey Claire, how are you doing? Welcome to some Delta Force, slash, let's do shit. I mean, I guess, but like, you know, I get, you know, especially when everyone pays rent, I get it, but this is usually also like, you know, people own the place and then demand rent from their children, which is like, huh? Like, I know, for example, my sister, you know, actually kind of moved in with her, well, now husband, you know, at the place with my parents because, you know, that was that. Mainly because, like, she actually lived there. She first lived in the old apartment of my uncle above my grandparents, but like, also, you know. You know what? Contributing to rent, I totally get. That's a different topic. It's more like, you know, so again, for example, my grandparents had like basically my grandpa built a house, you know, where at least 2 to 3 families could live in. Like, it's 2 apartments in one house, and my sister basically moved in the upper one because it was like, you know, basically after my, you know, uncle had a stroke and, you know, couldn't live there anymore. It was just empty, and then she was like, hey, can I live there? And they were like, sure. It's like, they could have probably asked for rent but didn't. It's like, contributing, I guess. It's just, it's just, you know, it's just a bit weird, you know? And like, yeah, that's the thing. Like, I know my grandma also offered me, you know, if I ever, you know, need a place and shit, she was like, yeah, you can just move in up there. Like that there's no difference between, you know, between my sister and me. Like my parents are like, you know, I mean, I am basically helping them renovate our old rooms right now. But no. My parents are very clear. If I ever need to go somewhere, I can move in with them, or, you know, in that case, it would be like, you know, my grandma has an empty apartment. If you know, if push ever comes to shove, and, you know, we need some place to live, they're like, you know, no, we have one. Just chill. It's like, no worries. And like, yeah, sure. This just. I don't know how to put it in the best way. It's just. Yeah. I mean, yeah, but, you know, only childs have it very easy. So I don't know if my family has a... okay, let me put it like this. I don't know if my parents have a favorite child. And if so, it definitely changed. But they definitely have a problem that my sister is perceiving that, you know, there is a preferred child, which is like, lol. Just for everyone who doesn't know, a few years ago, my sister just decided I was always horrible to her and never apologized for that. And I just sit there being like, and now we're in a deadlock because I just sit there being like, what the fuck? Like, I mean, sorry, like, here's the thing. There were definitely times where we said some horrible shit to each other in the moment, but like, what? But yeah, she just doesn't talk to me anymore, and she just decides that I am horrible. It's just, I'm like, yeah, I don't know. It's just weird. And no one understands it. Like, literally, my parents are like, they don't get it. My grandma doesn't. No one gets it. Even her friends from back then are like, are we sure we're talking about the same person you say? And I'm like, I don't know. You know, maybe I was horrible and just forgot, but also like, I don't know what's going on there. I don't know. Like, the thing is, I think the biggest problem is in that regard that she has. It's, you know what? The thing is, we can all just speculate. The big problem we have is basically no one knows. Like, as I told you, her longtime friends were like, "The fuck are you talking about?" Because they know me. Like, there've been a bunch of times, especially like later when we got older, there was just like, I just hang around with them anyway, because I mean, my problem was just, I went to boarding school, which is basically away. There's like one person I knew that actually lived close by, like literally in the same town. We never met on the train. We never ever met outside of school, and like didn't even, or like, not that we hate, not that we disliked us. Like, we were everyone was pretty close in the class, but like, it's still funny. Like my mom met his mom more than I meet him ever. But yeah, no, so I just, when I was, when I was like, holidays or shit, like I just hung out with them because, they were nice, pretty much my age group, and better than nothing to do on, when you live in the fucking countryside. Like, what should I do there? Like, I would have needed to take the train, which is like half an hour ride to get to the nearest large city, to, have any chance of going to any shop that's like, that has TTRPGs or, play Warhammer. I did that, by the way, but like, I don't have limitless money. I just had some money, so I just sometimes went there. Yeah, so, no. Oh god, yeah, we didn't have beavers. I mean, that's the countryside, It's like, sometimes you just do shit. Like, oh god, the biggest problem we just had is just, like, the current town, like, the town I grew up in, it's just a perfect example of being mismanaged to fucking hell and back, because there is stuff there is technically room there, but they just never bothered to actually foster like a game store in the center of town, even though I can guarantee you it would be so fucking popular. it's just because they generally have a lot of people living in the surrounding areas. It's just, you know, get people to where shit is, and that wasn't the case. Oof. Yeah, I mean, at least I can say that the town I lived in was not that. I mean, technically it had, you know, I mean, it even had a university, so, I mean, a university hospital, but still. And I guess we have some ruins and some stuff, but like, yeah. It's a nice region, but like, god damn it, they really sleep on the whole fact of shit should be there for children. That's why you know, that's why you just did bullshit. It's like, people are like, hey, why do the cows get pushed over all the time? And the answer is like, okay, you know what? If you don't want your cows get pushed over all the time, just give us something to do. That's the thing, you know, one game store, just one place where we could, you know, gather, play board games, play, you know, Magic the Gathering and shit. But no, they're like, no, we need a new clothing store in the center of town. That will definitely fix everything. Why the children keep pushing over the cows? It's fucking nothing to do. You push over cows when you're bored. And you light up their shit. It burns quite well, actually, so it's very funny. That's also a thing. Yeah, not surprising that some people were also just got wasted on some stuff. That's just a thing here. But yeah, no, my family, like, they own some stuff, and it's like, if I ever need a house or, you know, some place to live, they wouldn't charge me fucking rent, because they're like, why would we do that? Like, you know, that's just a thing they wouldn't do. They might ask, you know, like, hey, help around the house and shit, and it's like, I guess, like, I would live there anyway, so that's like, you know, some stuff contribute and shit, but like, that's a similar thing for me when, you know, when I got offered, like, oh, hey, you know, if you ever need a place to live, there's, you know, the apartment of my grandma. I would definitely help her, because, like, she's old, and you need to drive a lot of stuff there. Like, you know, if I would live there, I would be like, yeah, sure, you know what, I'm going to help her tend to the garden and shit, and do some repairs, and, you know, buy groceries, because, like, that's just the logical thing to do. But, like, yeah, families that just charge rent are, you know, from their children are just very weird if they, you know, own the shit. Oh god. At least, yeah, we don't have rednecks here. I guess that is probably the one upside that, you know, we could at least get Magic the Gathering stuff at some local stores, so I guess we had card games. Not on motorcycles, but we had card games. Hey, we don't have 165 nicknames for Trump banned yet, so who knows? Not as bad as Xi Jinping, I guess. Yeah, that's the thing with the whole, you know, automod. I kind of have it on because, you know, maybe it catches shit. But also I just feel like it's the biggest problem it has is the fact that it usually just blocks people from shit posting. So what should I think of that? Oh, you know what? You know what? A lot of people try shit out with that, so don't. Like that's more like, oh hey, do you want to do something, say something stupid? I can't hold you back, and a lot of, I had some people in chat already trying out the limits, so I don't know. Is it the Dick ASCII? Oh god, it's gonna be Dick ASCII, isn't it? How very mature. How very mature. See, that's the problem. I have no clue what that is because it's very stretched on my end. And not even showing up in OBS, so yeah. Oh, that's supposed to be a bot with panties. So I can tell you one thing. Oh, now I see it. Yeah, almost. I mean, you know what? We have enough ass. We have ass enjoyers here, so I think it's fine in that regard. Okay, we are still. You know what? We can do one more round. Then it's gonna be a bit overtime, but we can finish up then. Let's do a final healing train. No, like, honestly, no worries about that. Actually, it was an interesting test. Twitch chat is definitely not good with ASCII in that regard. And it doesn't even show up on, you know, in the OBS catching, so, Oh, where do we land this time? The new map, I guess.
War only leads to ashes, and I would be nothing more than cannon fodder. But I can't hide away in safety.
Engage immediately and assist Allied forces in guarding the objective.
You know what? Let's go.
Roger that. Artillery barrage incoming.
So yeah, by the way, if anyone is wondering, hey, how do you mod guns in this game? You maximize control. So that's it. You maximize control. I know it's a bit stupid, but like, you could probably fine-tune it a bit, but the main problem this game has in that sense is it has a lot of visual recoil, and control reduces visual recoil, so, you know, max control. That's a quick round. That is gonna be a quick round.
Roger that. Artillery barrage incoming.
There we go. But yeah, no, you know, when it comes to my family, I can tell you about a lot of stuff. Again, I don't have beef with my parents. Quite the opposite. I'm probably gonna help them soon renovate again, so that's that. And almost everyone else is almost everyone else is dead. That was fun trauma.
Roger that. Artillery barrage incoming. The enemy has captured objective Charlie 1. Take it back now.
Honestly, helical magazines are fun, even though I can totally see why they're like unpractical to so many in so many areas.
The enemy is attacking objective Charlie 2.
I just genuinely like the idea of, you know, you just have a big tube on your weapon and there's like a lot of bullets in it. It's kind of cool that it works, you know?
Has been neutralized. Hurry up. Vehicle drop to target location.
That was very fast.
The enemy has taken objective Charlie 2. Keep alert.
Let's get a jolt in our veins!
Enemy units radar down.
Okay,
Position hold strong. Operation accomplished.
that was 666 enemies killed. Oh, hail Satan. Oh god. Yeah, it's just... Now I definitely have nothing to talk about anymore. God damn it. Shit. I was like, oh, one more round, a good talk, and now I have no round and no talk. Swear, if anyone gives me a good topic to talk about, I could maybe even convince my better half that I should play another round. Oh god, yeah, no. Yeah, let's do it. Let's mod a bit. Give it a better sight. What do we have here? Standard, more control. I take that. Handguard, more control. I take that. Anyway, the thing is just, yeah, if you, you know what? Let's pull some people in again with the shield. That's that. Oh yeah. You know what? Back to the hot button topic. What do you think? How long will that last with you know? Oh, that's the other new map. We have both of them in the stream now. Perfect.
Blowing the dam, sending in troops, repairing the dam. This is a front for Havoc to regain control of the region. We must join forces again. We have our differences, but we also have a common goal in protecting Asara.
Capture each sector and the enemy will have no place to hide.
Oh well. Oh yeah, what do you think about the fact that, what I heard, Trump actually gutted money for the military industrial sector? Like, how long do you think that will last?
I need to be more careful.
Yeah, like, here's the thing. Either he's going back... Like, here are two things. And I keep saying that. But he's currently really pissing off the military in the USA. And I mean, really pissing them off. And, you know... Especially the whole, you know, being anti... You know, basically wanting to have beef with NATO is like, that's gonna be... That's going to go over so well, I tell you. Like, I'm not even so... It wouldn't even surprise me if this whole thing ends in a coup. It's not a coup, but like, you know... The military is gonna just dispose of him. Oh yeah. Because like, yeah. Oh, they really just moved out of the way. That's illegal. Oh. No. That. It probably. Because like that's the thing, you know. Oh hey, you start beef with NATO, you piss off the... Like, remember the whole thing with, I think the new Secretary of Defense where everyone was against it and it's just like very narrowly, it's like, that's a good basis to get to seek beef with NATO. You know, the ally the USA specifically wanted after World War II. Such a good idea, actually. So yeah, I'm like, just like, hey, how do you think? Military coup in the USA, yes, no. I can tell at least right now the chances are not zero. They're not up there yet, but they're not zero. It would be very funny though. It would definitely be very funny. I mean, you know, it's not good because coups destabilize generally for a longer time, but also, it would be very funny to be like, if we can put him in the history of the one president where the military said, get the fuck off. Get the fuck out of here. It would be funny. Okay, here's the thing. I'm just gonna be real with you here. I think the one thing I would look forward the most to is actually the whole ideological clusterfuck this would create. Like, imagine, you know, people are, you know, the news are out like, oh, the CIA couped someone, and everyone's like, oh, and it's like, but it was Trump, and you're like, it's a CIA coup, but against someone we don't like. So like, what should we think of that? Question mark. I mean, okay, yeah, the Musk Force one would definitely explode. God. Putting Elon Musk everywhere is also just such a good way to ensure everyone will hate you. I mean, not on the fact that they are just beefing each other. God. Like, the thing is, they already have beef because, you know, so Musk has like weird beef with OpenAI all the time and, had it, and now, you know, they got a deal with the Trump administration. And, you know, Musk was like, why didn't you tell me about this, Trump senpai? and they were very angry. Also, that, you know, we hooked someone. Oh fuck. And, you know, he was angry about that, but also, like, this whole deal is now irrelevant because, you know, open source software wipes $200 billion of value off the market. Ah, isn't that nice? Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that lovely to see? It's just like, I mean, you know what? At this point, I will, you know, I feel like we need to point out this one thing because, yes, it is kind of funny to do the whole, look, something from China did it better, but also, like, the crucial point about that thing is it was a product of the open source community. Like, that could have come from basically every other country doing a molecule amount of that in it. This isn't like where I would say, oh, this is a specific thing to, you know, due to AI. This is more like, you know, an open system and software development usually performing better than the rest again, and the rest of the market just following suit with that. It's like, it just was in that point in time a Chinese company, because, like, let me just put it like this: a lot of big Chinese companies, again, a big Chinese company could not develop this. Like, I mean, it's a similar thing when you were like, oh, but what about, you know, Chinese software stuff like TikTok, and like, TikTok is just Vine with longer videos, first of all, and second of all, yeah, the only thing it is that Vine again, just, you know, at a time where, you know, it just struck a chord with it, you know, at a different time, and it struck a bigger chord. Okay, honestly, in hindsight, it kind of sucks to think about the fact that Vine died because they didn't let people upload videos with a little bit of a longer runtime. Like, that is just kind of hilarious if you think about it. Bonk. Get bonked. But yeah, that's the thing with, you know, I mean, because a big Chinese company would have done, you know, the usual Chinese big company stuff, aka just copy something that is already popular. You know, like the game we are playing right now, where everything is kind of copied from something else. Because that's always the thing I will keep saying. The mantra of big Chinese companies is always like, make a good copy, and like, it's a solid copy. Like, I'm not going to say anything about that. Like, I've played worse, especially worse free-to-play games than Delta Force, but also, like, yeah, this is just taken from everywhere. Like, half of the character, Claire, half of the, like, the structure of the game is Battlefield. Basically, every map in the loading screen is inspired by some how's it called, concept art from a game, or, you know, map loading screen from a game. The character selection is basically split between, this is a character from Battlefield, just copied, and this is a character from Valorant, just copied. I don't know how the current one is, but it's literally from them. I just generally think, you know, the execution of the Shield character is pretty good. The problem is, I don't know where, you know, this guy here is from, you know, where they have taken it, because this feels too nuanced to be, I mean, you know, if this is their own thing, congratulations, you made a good design. From Norwich, his name's Craig. What? God, go away. Oh yeah, no. Okay. Whee! Dunk. Okay, sorry, this is probably the funniest part about this, because Yeah, usually, you know, grappling hooks are like, oh, you grapple to somewhere. I told that before. But I just kind of like the idea that you grapple things towards you, and it's like a bit slower. I don't know where it's from, but it's great. It's a good design. I actually like this pretty much. Just really like it. There are a lot of text documents about that, but you know. So it actually have a pretty extensive backstory, but yeah. There we go. Hello. Get oh. Okay, sorry. I just like shield bashes, they're fun. It's like bonk dead. Bonk dead. Yeah, no. That's the thing, what I always say, they copy, like, similar with the trains. Like, I get why they did it, because it's like, hey, we want to build a high-speed rail network, and we want to, you know, and, you know, you have to domestically produce a bunch of trains for that, you know, to go to the scale they did. But, yeah, then you look at, you know, some of their prime trains, and you're like, that's a Shinkansen model. That's a Velaro. Interesting. How it's just the same. But yeah, and the other thing they always have is the fact that, you know, they make solid copies. And then those copies never really find any adaptation, like... Okay, honestly, there's something a bit sad about this, you know? This isn't to say, you know, oh, hey, all of the copies are bad, for example. I say they're usually fine. It's just like, every time China does something on their own, it just never really, you know, goes anywhere. Like, have you ever heard, for example, I mean, this is more for, you know, the Americans in the room, ever heard of any Chinese guns having any wide adoption aside of the, you know, cheap SKS they produced? Which, you know, isn't even their own gun, it's, you know, they just produced SKSs. Cheap. Because most of the guns are serviceable, they work, but, like, they don't get adopted. Similarly, they start making their own trains, and they're like, let's actually, you know, get them somewhere, but, like, every single, nation that wants to build high-speed rail either goes with, you know, a Siemens one, or, you know, a Japanese one. Like, for example, if you look at, if you, for example, look at India, they're, you know, they're in a contract with Japan Rail. You know, they're going to have Shinkansen running on their tracks. Meanwhile, basically, Turkey, Russia, everything around the Mediterranean Sea, and a lot of other, they're just importing Siemens. In fact, hey, who's like the world leading producer in terms of trains? Oh yeah, baby, Germans are. No, sorry, no, seriously, we're literally producing and exporting, like, the most sold high-speed rail train, like that. Like, the Velaro from Siemens is the most, you know, most used and most sold one across the world. And actually, it might be coming to a place near you even, because, here's the thing. I don't know how it will, you know, move forward with Amtrak now, because, you know, Trump. But, Brightline was basically, we're gonna make a train line between Los Angeles and Las Vegas, and guess what they're using? Belarus. They're going Siemens. Similarly, you had, how's it called? With California High-Speed Rail, they were also like, we don't know what to use, but, Brightline is going to use Belarus, and Amtrak and such have really good connections with Siemens. Basically all the engines and the cars in USA are now Siemens, so that's that. That's gonna be that. I think Texas High-Speed Rail, they wanted to use Shinkansen, but are now also like, if they start producing Belarus in America, why not? And, they probably don't need it that fast, that much, but they had some ideas of East Coast expansions or more usage on the East Coast that they wanted to have a few more trains besides the Acela, the next Acela train, which is, behind anyway. And the thing is, if you're producing Belarus anyway, might as well use those. So yeah, Siemens just is really on top of the game there, but the Siemens copy, which isn't, by the way, isn't bad. Like, from what I know, it's not a bad copy. Like, it actually has some upsides the Velaro doesn't have, because the thing was, the problem with the Chinese high-speed rail network is the fact that the problem they had to solve is the fact that it had to go really, really fast. So, if you look, for example, at the Velaro, if you build a high-speed rail network in, let's say, Europe, or, in basically any other country in the world, your problem is that you don't really have that long distances to bridge between regions. Like, even if you build if you would build high-speed rail in the USA, the parts where you would build high-speed rail wouldn't have the longest distances. Like, it's not that long from New York to even, up to Toronto, like up to Canada, or, if you expand it downwards more, it wouldn't be that long to have some corridors on the East Coast. It wouldn't be that long to have some corridors on the, even in Texas and such. Also, more frequent stops. So, a top speed of 325 kilometers per hour is fine. That's like kind of the thing everyone's set upon, because like you could go faster, but then you have other problems. Mainly, just, the thing is, the faster a train goes, there's like air resistance and other problems. So like, even, when the Velaro goes really fast, it starts to, in earlier models they had the problem, which, they fixed, by the way, that it just started to jitter a bit. Just a bit. And now you look at China, and you have, like, high-speed rail networks that have long distances, so to have good, traction time between them, they had to drive their trains faster, at 400 kilometers per hour. If you notice, that is like 75 kilometers per hour faster than what the max, speed is for basically everyone else. It is ridiculously fast. So obviously they were like, okay, let's take, the Velaro, a good one, a good train, and then start adjusting the problems out of that, because the Velaro can technically go over 400 kilometers per hour, like most European trains can. Just so you know, like the fastest. Let me just check real quick. It was a TGV, and they just never did it. So Let me just look. No, not the maglev. That is not even a train, you fucking... yeah. The TGV 4402, so like a more modern version of the TGV, they reached 574 kilometers per hour. That is fucking fast. So for all the Americans, that's 357 miles per hour. That is the record, by the way. That's the record. No one drives at those speeds because, again, it just lowers some things, like how many times you actually need to do how's it called, maintenance. It jitters a lot. It starts jittering, so it's not really comfortable. Also, braking is a problem. So you really only need to do it when you have long distances, aka most of the Chinese network. So that's the thing. Yes, they copied the Velaro, but also they copied him for good reason. It wasn't oh hey. They had to change some stuff so it worked on their system. Anyway. Story time over. Again, this approved Velaro, quote-unquote approved Velaro, has seen barely any things because there's the irony in that. That it's a specialized one, You know what the strength of the Velaro is? Adaptability. Like, the Velaro is just one hell of a good high-speed rail train, but its upside is, quite literally, you can adjust it for so many environments. Like, there's a reason Egypt and Morocco have bought them. Like, I think in Morocco, like in some of North African countries, they have high-speed rail, and they had to adjust some parts because, you're driving through the desert with a very fast train. So you needed to add some stuff that, made it more resistant to, for example, sand. Bit more that. So suddenly the thing was specialized and wouldn't really run well. It would probably run in a normal environment as well, but like, it wouldn't fit in certain other environments. Similarly, the moment the Chinese basically specialized the Velaro, yeah, cool, you made a specialized Velaro. Oops. You can't really sell that one that well to many other customers anymore. Again, one of the reasons why Siemens is such an utter dominator in the railway park is the fact that they managed to make their trains not only baseline really good, but also simply to make them a lot more adaptable than other companies. Like, it wouldn't even surprise me that, when when everything is said and done in India and they make the first test drives with Shinkansens, they probably are like, oh, can we adjust this? And then everyone's gonna be like, oh, this system has been closed. And they're like, oh, hey, maybe we'll talk to another company then. It's similar with, bonk. Sorry, that grappling hook is amazing. I mean, that's the whole reason why, for example, again, in the USA, the train market has been so dominated because before that they, Amtrak talked to Alstom and shit, and they were like, hey, we need this and this and this, and then, Siemens was like, hey, we have something similar, we can just adjust it, and then we were like, okay, sure. And then it turned out, oh, hey, we have some problems in colder climates, and then they were like, sure, we can adjust it. And, like, guess why they're working with Siemens? Anyway, too much train talk again. I wanted to talk about coup or no coup. Oh. Anyway. I mean... Not that this whole thing is a farce anyway, and...
Strategic beacon deployed. Objective Charlie 1 is under attack.
Artillery barrage ready.
Coup or no coup? Yeah, like, I mean, if you look at what he's doing, the signs are on coup. It's just not. Like, yeah. I mean, I think Evalich basically said it before. The CIA is just really good at cooing and murdering, and it's like that's definitely the kind of organization you want to piss off in your own country. Like, oh yeah, piss off the CIA, the ones that are just have a really good hand at, you know, displacing people in power. Just such a good idea, actually. I mean, Oh god, it's like... Okay, you know what? I know why he's doing it. Because he's stupid. Like... Okay, you know why it's stupid to do that? Let's just put it like this. First of all, you're like, okay, first of all, you're just killing, like, someone, you know, literally, it's basically someone who likes you in a region. That's stupid number one. Stupid number two is just like... So the whole tech sector will hate him overnight. I mean, by the way, they're currently, okay? They will say yes, but the reality is this. Everyone slept on microchips. Period. The EU is frantically currently trying to build their own factory again, but it's hard. Because the problems are chip manufacturing is hard. Even if you get the resources, you need to have equipment, training, and knowledge to actually adapt at making microchips. It's not easy, and over the last decade especially, it has become harder and harder and harder. So you actually only have like 3 countries, or, you know, basically just 3 companies actually, that are really able to produce microchips at the rate the current economy around the world needs. And guess where 2 of them are sitting, and guess where the third one is sitting? And the answer is Taiwan, China. And this isn't to say, you know, oh hey, could that have been prevented? Yes, if, you know, over 10 years ago, people were realizing as in, maybe we shouldn't be so lenient on the whole microchip part, but, you know, no one was, and now everyone is frantically scrambling to become an autark nation again. So yeah, gonna be a really great time when the whole tech sector is like, shit, our microchips are really expensive now. That means your fucking PlayStation 5 will double in price. I swear, when people are gonna be like, oh, hey, they increased the price again of, you know, consoles and shit, it's like, yeah, you know what, the new Nintendo Switch will the Nintendo Switch 2 will probably cost like 3 times the amount than the rest of the world, and it was already high, probably some everyone else, just because, you know, the whole microchips thing. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be amazing. You know what? Probably as well. I mean, not that I can own one, because I just don't have the money anyway. But, you know... Anyway. So, we have some stuff to open still. Let's just wrap this up. Let's just get some cards. Decompress the card. Oh yeah. This, oh god. By the way, yeah, they have this whole thing right now with card packages to open and getting, cards out to match pairs to have some rewards, which is fine. It's, it's just, it's things you don't pay money for. It's just so funny that it says decompress package, very normal. Then it says unpacking attempts left 10. Disassemble again. I love how I absolutely adore how the translation of this game is just all over the place. It's just so stupid. I love it. Oh, well, let's see. We have 2 of him. We're just saving up to have everyone. Because if you have all of them, you can get... where is it again? Exchange them for a skin, so, that's a thing. But you can exchange also player cards, so... let's just do that. Oh, boy. Yeah, and now I have 1 of 1. It's, yeah, honestly, I have to be honest with you here. The game is very lenient when it comes to, no, it's very generous when it comes to, how's it called? Cosmetic shit. Like, yeah. Wait a second. 60, you know what, let's go up to 70 with that. Because I need the operator cards, so for this one, so that's that. And the rest is 1, 2, 3. Perfect. I am now at 70, so did I assemble, can I get something else? And, no, I'm not exchanging that yet. That we have it, there we go. So, last time, by the way, how many is it? You need 75 to get a, let's do some math. 75 to get a guaranteed drop. So I had that once. So minus 17 is 58 plus 75. So I had, oh yeah. So last season, because those vouchers up here, they always reset at the end of the season. So you should use them. The thing is, they reset and you can only get them through, in-game shit. So this is like, is this a gacha pool thing? Yes. But you don't pay money for it, so I don't actually mind. It's like, also the pool from last season is still in there, it just gets bigger, so you can just... It's just a random reward table, for free. Again, if this game excels at one thing, in my opinion, then holy shit, this is probably the most rewarding free-to-play game I have ever played. Like, so many free-to-play games just gate the shit out of cosmetic stuff and content, And while I know they want to sell, the co-op campaign still, so I don't know if I will stream that, maybe later. Yeah, every weapon so far you can unlock without money. Every operator is unlocked without money. There's a huge fucking amount of cosmetic shit you can unlock for your weapons. Like, this is putting a lot of actually pay-to-play games to shame. So, like, yeah. if I can definitely say one thing for about Delta Force right now, at least, I don't know if that changes. And I can slowly bring that up. Why? Is the fact that it's just. It's just a game that actually is like, hey, here's a bunch of shit you can't pay money for, but you can still play for it. And it's like, yeah, you know what? That's just hard to come by in our modern age, considering how much stuff is being pressed from, how you're just squeezed for money in like every single title nowadays. Let's do some stuff. Ooh, actually. Neat. Da. Oh, nice. We got some. Oh, okay. You know what? I think we just got the main prize actually of this season. That looks good. And use that neck. Ooh. Yeah, we got 2 main rewards down. Holy shit, just 3 more left. Sign 69 more times to receive a main reward. Nice. Yeah, that's pretty good, I'd say. I should probably play more LMGs, actually. Yeah. I mean, you're like, oh, hey, you can get a lot of these boxes. Yeah, like... You know, it's either XP tokens for your weapon. So, you know, by the way, they don't have a double XP system in this game. It's more like you have the tokens and you can just get levels for a gun. So, no. But again, I don't pay... Listen, this is streamer luck right now. I am getting... Look at this, another main reward. Actually, that looks sweet. You know what? We almost have all main rewards. We get a hype gacha trigger. No, I'm not. Don't do that. Don't fucking do that. It's just like, you know, that's neat. Again, oh, I have all main rewards. That's nice. So I'm just missing a few things then. Yeah, 2 skins and... I could probably have them at the end of the season, so... Yeah. One more time. And... calling card. Yeah, like, again, the season is still 78 days. I will probably have everything at the end of it. This was luck. Streamer luck. I have all the major rewards out of the gacha pool now, but, like... Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me that, you know, if I stream it near the end of the season again or so, that I might also just have all the other skins and calling cards. It's like... And again, the next time, the next season, they apparently just add more to the pool, so, like... Hey! Okay, shit, now that I realize it. This is a gacha system in a free-to-play game that is exempted from real-world money, and it doesn't have FOMO. I mean, yeah. I don't hate the system. I like it, actually. Oh yeah, right, you have also this right now that you can get little charms. Let's just look at this. Haven't opened that one yet, but let's just look at some of them. Ooh. Little off-brand Lego ones. Yeah. It's like, okay. I don't think we have, anything else. It's cute. Yeah, and again, you know what the best part about this is? You get them from playing the game. You don't pay money for it, so again, the game is shockingly lenient. Oh yeah, also, I mean, you can get the Mandel bricks thing, which is like, it's kind of a loot box thing shit, but also you get them only through gameplay. I have one, and I guess they made it so that, you know, you can choose between two pools of where you can get stuff from. Again. So it's, you know, it's like that, or, you know, you extract one. Oh yeah, as you can see here, they're like, oh, your reward increases, and you're like, you need to be in the top 25% of a match, but like, your chance get higher with each match, so. Yep. That was Delta Force. Again, nothing really changed. Like, it's still fun. I don't hate it. I'm just, I mean, the hard part for me to say is just the fact that I'm kind of streaming this game because, like, I need something to do until there's either, you know, the final Battlefield update coming, or, you know, they finally let me into the test area and I can stream that. Because it is dollar store Battlefield. It is definitely the closest I've ever seen any game come to be like actually feeling like, oh yeah, this is almost like Battlefield. So, you know, currently where there is not much to do, I take it. But like, as you saw me play last week, they, you know, added IFVs to Battlefield, and it was instantly a better update than the whole season of Delta Force, because the IFVs actually, you know, mattered. And the moment they will have a new event there, and they have, you know, maybe even a new map, there is something coming apparently. We will see. But that is probably gonna be, you will see that about next week. Anyway. Tomorrow, Grandia 2. I don't know how long we will take for Grandia 2, but I think we will finish Grandia 2 before Monster Hunter comes out, right? Still need to pre-order that one. Gotta do that soon. Oh yeah, right. Wait a second. When is that actually? Open beta February 6 to 9. Okay. So still some time, but then we might actually, you know, we will stream Monster Hunter Wilds again during the beta test a bit. Rubber chicken needs to be bonked. Yeah, that was Delta Force. Again, it's still fun. It's fine, but like, it's also just that. See you tomorrow for Grandia 2, and have a good week ahead of you, everyone. It was nice talking. Bye.